What's going on, guys? Your boy Zane here, back here. ZaneLoehr sick because I didn't plan that. We're here with a little bit of a discussion. We're here today with a little bit of a discussion video of sorts on Bleach Brave Souls. They just announced the manga banner. The very first wave of manga characters are coming back, and the community has been in heated discussion about this, whether it should have come back, is it good, is it bad, or whatnot. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about it because we've seen, guys like Spite and Cowboy have already made videos about it. I'm sure Rewad has one to come later. You know, your boys have probably got to get one up there as well. But I wanted to give it more of a take from someone not so popular, a non-popular YouTuber maybe, but and I just wanted to try and get like in the middle of the discussion because a lot of people are on the two waves. I have some notes here I wrote down on what I need to talk about. But people are just like on both sides of the spectrums, you know. They're the ones who have like all the characters and they're just like, I don't know if they should come back right now, you know, they're not special anymore. And then we have the ones on the other side, they're like, oh, they're just being selfish, you know, they need to come back. I have none of them. It's great, I can summon for them now. And I do think they should not have brought it back here, but I'll get into that in discussion. I'll have like the pointers there. Future me will help out with that. So you could like jump to a specific part you want to talk about or listen to. Future me is also going to be cutting out on my coffin, so I love you, Future me. But anyway, the first thing we're going to talk about is, so first thing I want to say first is that I have 6 out of the 7 manga characters that are out right now. The only one I don't have is Retsu. So I have all, the first 4, I have all of those there. Just in case people are hearing like, okay, well you don't have them or you have them, you're going to be biased. That's what I personally have. But moving on to it. The first thing I want to address is the issue. I've seen a lot of people talking about it in comments, is that some people are saying, okay, KLAB said these characters are never coming back, and that's not the case. You know, KLAB said that these characters were not going to be added to the premium summons, meaning that you can't just summon them from a premium ticket or a 5-star ticket or anything like that. They're like the seasonal characters, and people assumed what that meant was that they were never going to come back ever. That's not the case, you know. They're not being in the premium summons mean that they're not going to be easily accessible. And the way they put it was more or less to say that, hey, these characters are limited. You have to get them now because we don't know when they were going to come back. We don't know if they're even guaranteed to come back. Like, a lot of people were saying it's a money thing. People want it. People will spend money on it. It's going to come back, right? But there is no guarantee. And to me, that's really what the issue is here. Not that KLAB tricked us into thinking that they were never coming back. It's just that the way they implied it, like these characters are not coming back for a very, very long time. So that's that issue out of the way. The next thing is, should they have come back now? Is this really the best time? Because what I personally was speculating, and there are people who agreed with me on it, is that most likely we're going to get the last batch of manga characters for JP Anniversary. Probably get the 3rd one for Easter and the last one for JP Anniversary. It's what makes the most sense, right? Then again, KLAB doesn't always make sense with what they do. But anyway, so most likely what I was thinking was maybe for like the last batch of manga characters, the weeks leading up to it, we may see, you know, the first wave for 3 days, the second wave for 3 days, the third wave for 3 days, and then wait for JP Anniversary, we get the last batch. Heads up, if manga characters are really for JP Anniversary, the last batch, it's probably going to be step-ups again, so we know how much KLAB loves their step-ups. But anyway, so that's what we thought would have happened, or maybe they would come back after all were released. You know, same way you would see them in like an attribute banner or something like that. They just won't be summoned from premium. They won't be available from premium summons, you know. That's what the speculation was. But to bring them back now is just, no, now is not the right time to bring them back. And I want to make a reference to, I think Spite's probably the best example I could use of this. Like, you just picture, because a lot of people are on the whole thing that, oh, the reason people are upset is because they don't want other people to have the characters. That's not the reason why. Well, there are some people upset for that. But from what I've seen, that's not what the main issue is. The main issue is you have guys like Spite who spend so much money for these characters because they were advertised to us that they were limited and not going to come back for a long time. That's how they were advertised. So you have guys like Spite who spend so much money for those characters only to learn that they're coming back in a couple months. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, there was this guy, I can't remember his name, he mentioned it, that Tag Team Koga has actually come back just as often as these manga characters will, in the same amount of time as well. Tag Team Koga, a normal tag team character, though he is one of the better PvP units, he came out at the end of August, and manga characters came out at the end of September. We have him at the end of December. He came back in one of the Killer Selection banners, and then manga comes back at the end of January. It's a month apart in both cases. You basically have Tag Team Koga came back the same amount of time it took for the manga characters to come back. That's ridiculous. And to top that all off, look at the timing that these manga characters came back in. We still have the second wave going on. I talk with my hands a lot, forgive me. We still have the second wave going on. Not to mention, a lot of people think that we may not get end of month because of the manga characters will be end of month. No, this is KLAB. They're doing an end of month for sure. They're going to do, and I fully believe they're doing something big for end of month too. They just want to drain your orbs leading up to it. That they just want you to spend your money on these characters, and I understand, like we all understand, KLAB is a business and they want to make money, but sometimes you just take it too far. Look at what's happened over the last couple of months. And I think it was TheNerdEra who made a video about this, so I'll link his video in the description if you want to find out more about it. But like, we've had banners come out back to back non-stop. When was the last time we had one banner alone, just like one solid banner out, besides the premium one, of course? No, we've had like 2, sometimes even 3 on at a time, and it's just the way they've released these characters. We've had double chances and mid-months, all new characters back to back, that these characters are pretty much becoming not necessarily irrelevant, but less talked about. That's a better way to put it. Like shit, look at Mind Shinji. He's a severely underrated character just because other stuff came out immediately after him. You know, Mind Ulquiorra is still an amazing character, but then they brought out Barrigan like a month later. You know, stuff like that. You don't need to bring out new characters every single banner. You could afford to have a mid-month where, like, that's something I would like if they could do. Why don't they bring back a mid-month from a previous end of month? Like for March end of month, for March mid-month, let's see Aizen, Tensa, and Ishin come back. You know, for February mid-month, let's see Silver Flame Banner come back. Let's see Soifon and Shinji and Rika again, instead of making these new characters. I don't think the game's gonna die out anytime soon, but you could prolong the life of the game a lot by doing that, instead of forcing all these new characters. Because people are happy. We got Lisa, we got Mashiro, we got Hiyori, but they weren't needed. Like, you could have brought back Warren and Banner there, bring back Barrigan, Stylapore, and Wonderwise. That still would have been a great banner people would have summoned for. But anyway, we're getting a bit sidetracked there. But it's just the issue that we've had Christmas summons, we had end of the year, which a lot of people thought were not going to be manga. Like, a lot of people thought manga was going to be the end of January, just because we had Christmas, we had the full month for Christmas, we had New Year's coming up. We were thinking maybe we'd get New Year's characters. Global Anniversary, I think, is at the end of January, the 24th. So a lot of people were thinking maybe we'll get the manga characters then. And you know, maybe at the live stream they were just going to announce that it was going to be end of January. But no, they gave us not only manga, but step-ups for the manga characters, which we know KLAB and their step-ups. They need to go out of their way to make sure that they're worse every single year. But on top of that, they bring out the Visors. We have the entire month of January dedicated to these manga characters. You know something is going to come out for end of month, because look at November. We had movie characters for November, and everyone was saying, well, we're not going to get end of month. And then they dropped new Aizen on us. So we're going to get something for end of month, and on top of that, they bring out the manga characters. Like, yeah, you're a company, you want to make money, but this is just like the best way to put it is kind of like there was a tweet Stephanie McMahon made for anybody who watches wrestling, basically saying philanthropy is the marketing tool of the future. Basically saying that anything charitable, anything they do is just to make money, and we could understand that. We probably could tell that, but you don't outright show that to your following, you know, and that's basically what KLAB is doing. We know you're a company, we know you want to make money, but don't make it that obvious by just releasing all these good stuff one after the other, right? Because like, there are people who, like me especially, who didn't get Retsu from the manga banners, and I was just like, okay, well, I may put like a couple more orbs into this one, even though it's a 0.5% chance to pull it. But then you drop manga banner. What about the people who weren't playing for the first wave of manga banner? Yes, it's nice that they come back, but now they have to choose. Do I skip the second wave of manga banner for the first one? Or do I skip the first one for the second one? Like, if you're bringing the manga characters back so that people who didn't get them before could get them, Don't bring it back when another wave of manga characters are going on, because then you force people to choose. And to me, personally, spending money on the game should be more of a choice. Like, okay, they have some pretty good stuff, but then they have this really good thing that I want to spend money on. Don't tell me that you're going to put all the good stuff together and say, well, hey, if you want them all, you have to spend a lot of money. You know, because it's just a lot better when it's more spaced out. So that way people who want to spend money on the game can say, well, okay, I can drop some money this month. Maybe they bring out something else next month, I drop some money there. But when you pack everything together and say, well, hey, you want these things, you gotta spend a lot of money. And even then, you're not guaranteed because of their shitty rates. Like this part you can skip because I'm going to talk a little bit about KLAB as a whole with games like Love Life. Like, look at Love Life, another game from KLAB. That game has been out since before Bleach came out, if I remember correctly. And the rates on that game is so much better. Though it's not as popular as Bleach, well, let me not say that because I don't really know for sure. But Love Life essentially has this mechanic where if you do a multi on a particular banner, or boxes as it's called in Love Life, you get a coupon, right? You do a multi, you get a coupon. If you build up enough coupons, you get these individual banners that will have like increased rates. So you could do 5 coupons and you have like an 80% chance to get an SR or a 20% chance to get a UR. The UR is kind of like the 5-star equivalent. Future me will put up some screenshots for you to see that. And it goes all the way till you have a guaranteed UR, which in Bleach terms would be a guaranteed 5-star. So you get rewarded for putting all this effort into it. And it's not to say this is a different company. It's KLAB. It's the same company. So why can they not implement, like it'll be a bit difficult because Love Life has SRs, SSRs, and URs. There's not, if you want to say an SR is a 4-star and a UR is a 5-star, there's no real equivalent for an SSR. But they can come up with something, man, so that way you don't spend hundreds of dollars on the game to potentially get nothing. Especially when you look at some of these, because I haven't seen the filler list, because I know there are fillers for the individual manga banners. But I can assure you they're trash. There'll probably be like one good character. Actually, I think Tag Team Rankiku is one of the fillers. That's probably like the only good character. They don't need to make these trash fillers every time they put fillers in a banner. Like, yes, we expect you're gonna put some characters that are not as good in it. They don't need to be complete garbage. Like, who wants to see Tag Team Mayori or Tag Team Yuri Chika in a banner? No one wants to see that. Put something like Wonder Weiss in the banner. Put something like Wonder Weiss in the banner that's not as hyped, that's not as talked about, but he's still a decent unit. Put something like the Speed Holly Bell. Even though she's not that great of a unit, she's a great link for Shunsui. I have her on my Shunsui link slotted right now. So put characters like that. Don't put absolute trash that is barely even a link. It just goes to this thing that companies have. You're either going to, well, we know you're going to spend money anyway. We can make it as trash as it is. You're going to spend money anyway, so we're just going to do it. Like Spite, was it Spite or Wad? Put it really well in one of their videos saying that KLAB does it a lot right. Like, this isn't me hating on KLAB. They do a lot of things right. But when they do wrong, they do really wrong, man. It was Spite who said it, I just remember that. Look at step-ups. You could have done so much better with the step-ups. Like, me personally, the fillers on the step-up banners, I had 2 out of the 9, so I was somewhat happy. But they were still more or less trash fillers. Like, I just felt sorry for all the people who summoned on Anniversary with those step-ups just to get the exact same step-ups again. Like, you don't need to put overpowered characters as fillers, but at least make the characters somewhat usable. Anyway, we're getting really sidetracked now. I mean, I put the stuff at the side so you could just jump to your timeline. You could skip what you didn't want to see, so we don't really need to worry about that. So essentially, in summary, they should not have come out this soon. It's obviously a money-grabbing technique, which we expect KLAB as a company to do, but they make it really, really obvious the way they're doing it, and it's a bit, I don't know, it's a bit disheartening, I guess, to say like that. Like, we know you want money, but you're overdoing it, man. The reason why this hurts a lot of the older players who have the characters, and even some of them that don't have the characters, is that people spend a lot of money for these characters because you marketed them as being exclusive. You marketed them as not coming back for a really long time. Because I know a guy who has both Shunsui and Sejin. He doesn't have Toshiro, so he's obviously going to summon for Toshiro. But he spent a lot of money to get those 2 characters. And now they're coming back. So rather than spend the money and summon for them, he could have just saved orbs. Just saved his orbs from that period to when they come back. And we know a lot of people, a lot of you guys are going to, the ones who don't have them, yeah, it's good that you guys are going to summon for them now, but how many of you are truly Well, I imagine it'd probably be like half and half, maybe more so than the other. But those who don't have the first round of level characters, who went all out on this one, they're not gonna be happy because they went all out on this one. They don't have orbs to summon for that. They have to spend money if they want those characters. And then there is the whole topic about them releasing characters too often. But I don't want to take away from Nerd's video about that. I'll just leave his video in the description. You can check that out if you want. It's a really good video talking about how they're releasing characters too quickly and forcing their characters to essentially become irrelevant in a short span of time. And to be honest, like me personally, like I said, I have 6 out of 7 manga characters. This banner coming out is not going to be an issue for me. I'm just going to save my orbs and skip it, obviously. But I just feel for the people. I mean, I use Spite as the example because he's like the easiest example to think of, who spent so much money for Kenpachi, and now we're probably going to get Kenpachi a couple months later. Probably around Easter time, we're going to get Kenpachi in like an individual banner. Like, it's still going to be shitty rates, but at least with that knowledge, you could save. Even if you want to spend money for him then as well, you could save up and be prepared for it, as opposed to, oh, these characters may not come back. If I want them, I have to go now. I have to act now. And there's nothing wrong with that technique. It's just really scummy when you market something as being limited, and then you bring it back out pretty much the same amount of time as a tag team character. This video has been pretty much 23 minutes now. I have to go cut this stuff out. I have a lot of editing to do because I have to cut out all the coughing I did. My dog even jumped up on me at a point in time. She's underneath me right now. I have to go cut that all out. But thanks for watching, guys. I wanted to give the opinion from a less popular YouTuber. Not that there's any really reason to. I just wanted to give my opinions because I saw like the other videos. I saw Spike's video, I saw Cowboy's video, and the comments were just back and forth. They should not have done this. How they're not special anymore. Just the two extremes about it, and we weren't getting any real discussion. The real discussions on it were very few and far in between. So I just wanted to make this video to put it out there as well. I really didn't want to make a video because, again, I'm sick. That's why content has been a bit slow on my channel. I'm rambling on at this point. I'll leave the video here. So let me know what you guys think about it in the comments. Try to be civil. Already gone through the extremes. No reason to reiterate that in the comments. You know what? Reiterate it in the comments. It'll help the video. It'll help promote the video. So go ham if you want. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope to see you all again next time. Until then, as always, stay frosty.